Recording stopped. Recording stopped.
Well, Rio Dell, you have what you want.
Recording in progress.
Order the regular meeting of the Rio Dell City Council. Roll call, please.
Mayor Barnes.
Excused.
Mayor Pro Tem Carter.
Present.
Councilmember Orr.
Here.
Councilmember Wilson.
Here.
Councilmember Woodall.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, public presentations. This time is for persons who wish to address the council on any matter not on this agenda and over which the council has jurisdiction. As such, a dialogue with the council or staff is not allowed under the Ralph M. Act. Items requiring council action not listed on this agenda may be placed on the next regular agenda for consideration if the council directs, unless a finding is made by at least 2/3 of the council that the item came up after the agenda was posted and is of an urgency nature requiring immediate action. Please limit comments to a maximum of 3 minutes. Would anybody like to make public comment?
Yeah, I can't do nothing in 3 minutes.
I think you can. You'd be surprised.
You know, all the stuff.
Will you tell us your name, please?
Joe Timmerman, 223 Oval Avenue. Okay, the reason I'm here tonight I have two different things here. So can I split it up 3 and 3?
Just continue.
Anyway, I've been doing some work for like 17 months with the earthquake situation that we had. And I'm not sure everybody's aware of what's going on, but in the beginning, I had approached our board members, supervisors, and Michelle and Rex, and I told them that, because my house is red tagged, and I told them, well, I'm not gonna sit around here and wait for money to come through and stuff, you know, I'm gonna get going on my house. So in the meantime, Rex, when I talked to him, had assured me that about the $1 million that they were gonna put up, because after the fact, things had started happening with the Habitat of Humanity, that I was told that I didn't qualify for any of that money because I had started working on my house. And Rex had told me in the beginning that wouldn't affect it, because I told him, I'm not waiting around. And he said, well, don't worry about it, you know, it's not gonna affect anything that we do. So I went ahead and started. And then over the process of trying to contact where some of the funds are going, I was told that I didn't qualify for it because I had already started working on my house, and there's no way of knowing how you were gonna get reimbursed for the stuff that you did. And so I told them that it wouldn't be a problem because I kept every receipt that I ever did, you know, when my foundation was put back on. But anyway, going further here, I just give you a background about myself and why I'm doing this. After I was told that and pursuing this, and about every time I ran into them and even called them, I didn't feel like I was getting any kind of satisfaction that I needed, and never was ever told where the money was actually being distributed. So I started digging into it myself a little bit, and under the Public Records Act, I was able to get the MOU from the county that they established. I was able to get their the first meeting that they had, and I was able to find out where actually the grant money came from. And so in that process, I still tried to pursue things, and I still wasn't getting anywhere. And so in the meantime, I came and talked to Kevin, and I was able to get, in the beginning, a copy of the red and green and yellow tag houses. So, I could go around to the people, door to door, and I have been doing that. And talking to the people themselves if they have received any kind of money from the county itself, and nobody has. They were in the same boat I was. 90% of the people or more probably, got the SBA loan, and that's how we were funded to be able to do the projects that we needed to do. So, so by doing that, reading up on the memorandum and the first meeting that they had, it said down here that the Habitat agrees to provide management and oversight for services related to homes and rehabilitation, rebuild services, low and very low income and homeowners. And then it says, and residents who have been displaced, whose homes have been red, yellow tagged in the result of the 22 December earthquake. And then, I found out, like I said, I found out where the money was coming from. It's grant money that came from the guidance and local assistance and tribal contingency fund, and that was part of the treasury and American Rescue Plan. That's where that money came from, because I thought it came out of major county funds. And so it's like, okay, you guys don't really have money right now to be doing that kind of stuff, but that's what they told me to put up. So I found that out, and so I said, no, this is wrong. And so by contacting the people from the Habitat, I've been in contact with them, and the only money that they have received, and I'm sure you guys have been getting updates with their quarterly updates that they said they were gonna do. I don't know if you guys have or not, but anyway, the Habitat was supposed to, they received $250,000, and of that money, I didn't qualify for anything. I mean, we know that we didn't qualify for any FEMA money, which was a joke. And I didn't qualify for the USDA grant because I make $160,000 a year. Didn't qualify for any of the, I don't know if you know anything about the brace and bolt thing they had there. My house was too new. It had to be like pre-70s or 80s to even qualify for that. The only money that I was able to maybe get was from the Habitat, and that money was for set up for rental income is what it was, if which I do want a rental, but what they wanted you to do was to guarantee that you would, for 2 years, that you would rent a Section 8 or low income housing, which I wasn't gonna do that. But anyway, we tied up into that. So going further, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the supervisor's meeting, but I want to get all this stuff in place here. And I guess the reason I'm here today is to ask either the council or maybe the city or Kevin or somebody would like to write a letter of support. I know it can't be done until the 21st, but it's fine, I can go after that. But it's probably been like 17 months now, and they've either got $750,000 left in there, or at least $500,000, because the Habitat was supposed to get another 250 and haven't yet. So nobody can tell me where that money is being applied to and how it's being applied. And so I haven't given up on it. I'm going to pursue it. And so I guess that's why I'm here to ask you guys if I could get some support from the city.
Joe, I really want to tell you how much I appreciate your coming and your boots on the ground attitude towards this, and just go out and do something, so I do appreciate that. As far as, I'm going to turn that over to the city manager. Do you want a letter?
Just a letter of support to try
for the citizens who've been red tagged.
For the citizens, not just red tag, whatever, that people put up money like myself in advance. And 90% of the people have or doing the same thing. And like I said, most of them had SBA loans, but there's been a couple of them that depleted their whole life savings, and stuff, just to get their houses put back on their foundations and things. It's very, very expensive to have it done. And I still haven't put a perimeter around the house, which is another $40,000, So I guess that's why I'm still pursuing this. There's lots of people in this town, I went around town, don't have a clue. They don't have a clue.
Well, and that's why I say I appreciate you, and I'm not really supposed to have a back and forth with you. Can we look into this and get back to you?
So what I would love to do is to meet with Joe after the meeting.
That's-
and sort of
yeah.
Have a chat.
Is that okay, Joe?
Oh, that's fantastic, yeah, okay, and then for my second thing here, real fast, okay, sorry. As you know, I take care of the bathrooms up at the park up there, and we had asked the city to help with some of the equipment stuff, and you guys are graciously to put $2,500 for that. It's been done, we still have things to do there, but, in the process of taking care of the bathrooms, I don't know if anybody knows how grossly, vandalism, and I mean, every time I go, there's something done. And so they broke the door out in the women's side of the bathroom underneath there. They reach up there and somebody was actually living in there, drug a mattress in there. I'm sure you've heard about it. And just the other day in the women's bathroom, they knocked one of the women's sink and broke it all down. I mean, that's just some of the minor stuff that there's constantly vandalism up there. And so I had come to Greg and asked him if some of his personnel could, when they were coming on and going off duty, if they could open and close the bathrooms. He graciously obliged that, but I know sometimes it doesn't get done because the hours that the police work are weird hours and the next guy comes on, does that. It's just weird. And they've done a good job and helped a lot. And that's when I find out all the damage has been done, like at nighttime and stuff. And so I came to, after the last meeting, which I didn't get to do this, but anyway, I asked Randy, I said, is there any way that you guys could help us out here? And he was gonna go to Kyle, I don't know if he went to you, Kyle, but I guess what I'm asking there is if maybe Public Works, Randy didn't have a problem with it, but he said he needed to talk to Kyle and if they would have a problem with opening and closing. And he told me, well, we go home at 4:30. And I said, it doesn't really matter because what this is gonna boil down to, we're gonna end up locking those bathrooms up. It's just, they're just getting totaled. And they need to be open. I mean, they're there for the people in this town, and that park gets used a lot. And it's just a shame what's happening, so.
I appreciate that comment too, Joe. It is the only park in town currently, so we do appreciate that. I think that sounds like another stick around after the meeting, is that? Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be a short meeting. Well, famous last words. Thank you so much, Joe, for your public comment. Is there any other public comment? Any hands raised, any emails? Okay, moving on to our consent calendar. Is there any member of the council that would like to remove anything from the consent calendar? Yes.
Number 4.
Number 4. Anybody else? Anybody else? Any member of the public who would like to move something from the consent calendar? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept items 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 of the consent calendar? Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, please vote. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, consent item number 4, Councilor Wilson.
Okay, this probably goes to either Travis or yourself. I see the bid, we're awarding the 10 million, whatever it is, $1 million to do the water project. When their bid came in, they were at 11. And then when I looked through the attachment 1, the things, if I'm reading that correctly, the things that somebody had to delete something so that 11 million went down to 10. And I know that it talks about $1.5 million contingency, but I see on the one part there's some meters that it was down to 0 on the bid sheet, where the other people had numbers. Whatever, they were like 50 grand for every item. I want to understand the difference between 11 million and 10 million.
So the 11,938,000 figure, just shy of 12 million on page 31, is that? So
31.
yeah, so that's the total bid inclusive of the additive items. So in this case, it was just shy of $12 million from Wallen, just shy of 24 from GR Sunbird, and just shy of 17 from Mercer Frazier on page 31. So the available construction budget doesn't cover that. So we have, just slightly north of $10 million, for the construction. And so, so some of the additive items, had to be taken off, of the package. So the way that the bid was originally constructed was to give the city as many options as we possibly could to prevent the project from going over budget. So this particular bid award is for the base, but we actually got several items included on top of the base bid. So the base bid for this particular project was $7.5 million. On page 32, we were able to add some of the additives in this project are some of the distribution piping and valves and meters, and then also the installation of fire hydrants, the valve replacements, and most importantly, the trenchless water line installation. So those are, I think, 4 cross-highway connections, 4 or 5 cross-highway connections, and we're getting a screaming deal on the cost associated with those. They were all basically earthquake damaged. And so, so again, if they were covered under the CDAA, we would have to cover 25% of that cost. But we're able to fit that into this particular grant. Now, if GR Sunbird or Mercer Fraser had been had won the bid, not only would we probably wouldn't have a project because it would be completely over budget, but we would not be able to add any of those additives on page 32. So that's, if that helps explain it, that's kind of the difference between some of the numbers there.
Well, then, so instead of looking at the stuff on page 34, I'm just at the things that we were at to do the additives were the one on 32, which is another 1, 2, 3, 4 items, essentially the fire hydrants and all that, the stuff that's included on page 32.
Correct. And
That's what's been added into their bid, besides the base bid.
Yeah,
We're getting those additional 4 items.
correct. Within the project budget. So it's 100% grant funded. Ratepayers don't pick up any of the tab for that. We are looking at our options to include the last remaining additive items. And so we have a roughly 2-month period where we can come up with a solution with the existing bid prices to finance the rest of the project. So we're asking the state about, different options, whether they'll provide the additional $1 million or so that we need, or more like $1.3 million that we'll need to get the entire project done. We're looking at the capital reserve in the water fund. We're looking at all kinds of different options to flesh out the remaining additive items. So there may be another item that comes back to this council to greenlight those projects under different financing schemes. But
I think, I'm pretty sure that answers what I asked, and I thank you for your creativity in getting as much out of this as we can. I know the state's a little bit of a, as Joe's shared, they're pretty cryptic about what, I don't know if there's a scriptic here, but with what you did, to go find that, what you did, thank you. Thank you. That's all.
Are we good?
And I go ahead.
I was just gonna ask if they had any other questions about item number 4. Okay, do I have a motion to accept item number 4 on the consent calendar?
I make that motion, because.
Motion a second?
Second.
Let's vote. Item passes 4-0. Moving on to reports and staff communications, that's page 51 in our packets. City manager, please.
thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Carter and members of the council. So, interestingly, a couple of weeks ago, a brand new issue popped up, which was that PG&E is planning on doing some underground utility, construction here shortly in the city. And so we've had to have a number of phone calls and work with our city engineer and their engineers to make sure that that project did not conflict with this project that the council just voted on. And so, anyways, I think we're doing good on that, and PG&E will be paying for the costs associated with any additional work from the engineers to either move infrastructure, but a lot of this is going to come down to field fitting, which is going to end up happening anyways, and so both sides feel confident that both projects can continue on with schedule. But just an interesting little side note of things that randomly come up in both projects, the work at the PG&E substation, the distribution of the power throughout town, and then also our water project are probably two top priority projects that we have in the city to basically build capacity for future development, electrical development in the community. And we look forward to the project being completed so we can do some sort of groundbreaking or public opening of that project, make sure the broader community knows that Rio Dell does have power to connect new homes and new businesses here. And then we did receive and have been issuing a response to a notice of violation related to the sanitary sewer collection system. So notice of violation came from the State Water Resources Control Board. And I think their thought process on at least their end at the enforcement division was that it would help spur funding the state to fund our Painter Street upsize project, which we've had a number of meetings on recently, and we're expecting and hoping that we get a funding decision by June. As the council may recall, we've gone ahead and front-loaded the engineering work on that particular project so that we can, in theory, get it out to bid and get a project into the ground before the next rainy season. So that is kind of where we are at, and I'm happy to answer any questions that the council may have, and staff is also available. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you, city manager. Any questions from the council on the staff report?
Chief, the police department we're supposed to be closing the bathrooms up, and because they asked me once about it, and so they told me that they would. Now, I understand right now, you're shorthanded, but when you're back to full staff, will they continue to take care of the bathrooms and the gate down?
Yeah, we still do the gate, but apparently we have enough with the COVID bathroom, so that's something we can fix.
So do you have time to lock the bathrooms at
Yes.
night now?
Well, we can make that. So.
Okay, that's it. Oh, I just wanted to ask Joe, do you have cameras?
No,
No?
you can't really legally have cameras
At a children's
for
park.
children in the bathroom, like.
Oh, I meant maybe outside.
Yeah, we don't even have, we talked about putting up on the pole there just to kind of do a surround thing.
Yeah.
So we know who is maybe leaving the premises, but, yeah,
Not a good deal.
shining them on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions over here from the staff report? Okay, questions from the public on the staff report? And I have no questions, so with that, we will move on to member reports. Let's start with council member Orr.
Nothing to report, but it is Teacher Appreciation Week, so all you Rio Dell people appreciate your teacher.
Councilmember Wilson.
Not a whole lot to report. We're doing the HWMA is Thursday of this week. And then we have a special pre-budget for RCEA on finance committee with that. Yeah, they're doing a thing. I don't know how much you follow RCEA, but there's a whole part of the county that's involved in I think it's 30 members. They're gonna go back to either New Jersey or Massachusetts. They got $1.5 million grant, and they're sending everybody back to look at some windmills off the coast of whichever state I said, you know.
I did know about that, yeah.
Yeah, and that's caused a little controversy. If you have comments about it, I think if you Google it on Lost Coast, I can find it. And if you have comment, you might make reference to, you might talk to your county people. I noticed they had Michelle Bushnell's name down there, and then they took it off. She apparently canceled out of it.
I do think our supervisor, Natalie Arroyo is,
Natalie O'Reilly was
Yeah.
doing, and some people from RCA,
Yeah.
and a couple of the other cities, there's, like city manager of Fortuna, and there's a whole bunch of people going locally, but, I'm glad we were put in that, they didn't invite us, and they didn't come talk to me or update to you, but, it's getting to be, this windmill thing that we're putting off the coast is starting to get a momentum. The tribes, several of them are opposed to it. Whether or not windmills are a good idea altogether or not is starting to become a controversial item throughout the nation. And so, something just keep your ear out for. It's going. That's all I have.
thank you, Councilmember Wilson, Councilmember Woodall.
Oh, nothing much, except I wanted to say I drove past the tennis courts the other day, and they had a whole group of kids out there. It might have been from the school, but it was good to see people down there using it.
And I'm happy to hear that, and I will start my member report by thanking Randy, because when I called him and said, hey, can we please get that backboard out of there? Or I said, can you help me load it into a truck? And he said, I am on it, and I said, thank you, and then what, it took you 10 minutes? It's done. Appreciate it. Okay. I have stuff to report. So, we had a nuisance advisory committee meeting. It's like about, 2 weeks ago-ish. I attended a beautification, walkability, and pride meeting. We are working on cleaning up these memorial plaques over here at Memorial Park. I had a REDEC meeting, and our next REDEC meeting in June is actually gonna be hosted by the city of Rio Dell, which is exciting because we're gonna make everybody drive here for once and see our town instead of Eureka City Hall every single time. I also attended the COAD quarterly update meeting via Zoom. I attended the Cal Cities Redwood Region meeting that we hosted here on Friday. It was lovely. Our city manager and our mayor did a phenomenal job putting that together. And it was wonderful to soak up all the positive feedback that we got from elected officials from other areas. It was wonderful. The absolute highlight of my last 2 weeks was going down to Monument Middle School and meeting with their whole class of 7th graders to talk to them about local government and get them involved and excited about being involved in influencing their community and having their voices be heard as part of our Parks Master Plan Survey Committee. So I do have 2 7th graders on that, and I actually didn't know that it was Teacher Appreciation Week. I thank you for saying that, Rob. The 7th graders that we have at our local school were wonderful. They were well behaved, they were respectful, they were engaged in lovely questions. And so it's very obvious to me that we have some really, really good teachers down there. And it is a tough age group to work with every single day. So I did want to give a shout out to our teachers and also to you, Rob, because I know that that is the age group that you work with sometimes too. The middle schoolers, ugh, but they were lovely. So somebody's doing something right down there. I've spent the last 2 weeks running around doing stuff for this parks master plan. I'll spare you the details, but poor Kyle, poor Kevin, I'm in here every single day saying, what about this, what about that? But we're moving forward on that. That's all that's already happened. Upcoming, I'm going to a school board meeting this Thursday, and I will stop by the fire district board of supervisors as well. That's at 5:30. School board is at 6:30. The fire department is having a Mother's Day pancake breakfast. You can go ahead and see it up on our sign right now. So if anybody doesn't have plans for that, and that's a fundraiser, right? All right, so please, if you don't have plans for mom, stop on by the pancake breakfast at the fire department. The resource center is holding a garden party at our community garden over here. There's an after-school group of kids who've been working on that garden. That is also this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Last thing, on May 24th, there is a ribbon cutting for our Eel River Trail, and that will partly be to welcome this, like the trail ambassadors. It is the group of students. I don't know as much about that yet, but it's May 24th, so I'm hoping to have more details at our May 21st meeting. May 24th is a Saturday, it's in the afternoon, I think, but any council support would be wonderful to have down there, and yeah, okay. I think that's it, that's the most manic number report about it. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn? We good? So good, okay. Meeting adjourned until
What was the date of that ribbon cutting?
May 24th.
Okay.
And our next meeting is May 21st at 6 p.m. and I will have more details for you on that. I know, like, the next time, it's gonna be a hard time.
They came in today.
Oh.